you were all well. I hope you had a really good evening and enjoyed the game yesterday, enjoyed the boxing and all that. As I say, such a busy day, Had the football, then ran my sister to watch the boxing, the darts looked lit now. Really great day of sport yesterday. So this is the first chance I've had to do a little review or match reaction, whatever you want to call it. So the game finished 1-1. Listen, on any other day you take a point, especially against Brighton, a renowned bogey team of West Ham. They've got a fantastic record against us. And they're a good team. They are a good team, barring their finishing at the moment. They're a very well-run team. They play very, very good football. In terms of the result and the point, I respect it. But there's more to it, that was a very, very boring game of football. It was an awful game of football. It was boring. It was, put you to sleep. And, I don't think we get much better than what we've got there. There's not like there's players to come back from injury. Obviously, Hollah wasn't there because of suspension. But we so lack in certain areas. I'll go on to that. Let's start with the lineup. Obviously, Fulcrum had come in. Didn't really do anything, did he? Won a couple of headers, that was about it. Doesn't, again, you could put that down to a slight lack of fitness, but I don't think you're going to get, a superstar like what it looks like Duran's doing, who just keeps scoring for fun at the minute. And whoever made that decision, to sign Fulcrum over Duran, Jesus Christ, they need to be brought into the office and had a new appraisal meeting, I think. Kudus, Paquetá, Bowen, Souček and Alvarez. The first half was just both teams very, very scrappy. We kept giving the ball away. They kept giving the ball away. There wasn't really many clear chances in that first half. I just don't know. It was just poor. There weren't really any moments where I'm like, like that edge of your seat sort of thing. It was very, very scrappy. Lots of naughty little tackles going in, little, tactical fouls as they call it. And no team could get any sort of momentum in the game. Second half, obviously changed it up a little bit. Mavropanos come off because he was on the booking, and Torpedo come on. We did go 1-0 down. Terrible goalkeeping from Fabianski, and it's a shame again. He had apart from that, he probably had another worldie, to be honest with you. But yeah, that was really, really poor goalkeeping. Ball come over, he went like that, didn't catch it. Again, you could look at the Souček one against Leicester and think, that one was disallowed. Very, very similar. But yeah, 1-0 down. But thankfully, we did get back into the game very, very quickly. We equalised straight away. And it was a good goal as well. Good ball from Souček. Bowen burst through, has a shot, falls to Kudus. Kudus puts it in, 1-1. And we had little patches then. We had little patches. There was a point when Skiles come on, where he got into the box. Maybe should have shot. Again, maybe thought, I need to pass the ball because I'm the young guy. Maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, and then apart from that, there wasn't really much. Fabianski pulled off some really good saves. There was the one where the ball was played over and somehow we got it off the line. There was one where Evan Ferguson just missed the header. Wan-Bissaka was amazing for us though, putting some really, really good tackles, worked really, really hard. He's absolutely shattered towards the end, Wan-Bissaka, because he put such a good shift in. But from the change of formation in the second half, we went to sort of like a wing-back formation with the three up front. There was just nothing in the middle. It's a huge problem we've got. I've heard a few channels and a few forums say, we're a donut, and it's, you've got the back line, you've got there, and then there's a hole in the middle. I don't know what Lopetegui was thinking there as such. It was like, okay, you go to that five at the back, but there was no, there was no one in the midfield to connect to those three. Someone like Declan, when he used to get the ball and run it up for us, and then you'd have someone there, or someone who would have the really good pass. Like when Paquetá did go off, again, he wasn't having the best of games in the world, but when Paquetá went off, there wasn't that person who could, get on the half turn and then release. Like Souček's not going to do that, Alvarez is not going to do that, and Rodriguez is not going to do that. In January, there's two positions. If Kudus is to go, which the rumour is he may get sold in January, might be the summer, two really good centre midfielders need to come in. An athletic centre midfielder and then another one, like a box-to-box runner. I watched the Aston Villa game against Man City yesterday. That midfield is perfect balance. It reminds me of the Leicester midfield back in the day when it was, I think it was Kante, Drinkwater, and Tielemans himself, I believe. It might be slightly different. But that midfield of Onana, Tielemans, McGinn, and Rodgers, it's just everything. You've got the big man that sits there in Onana who can play as well. You've got Morgan Rodgers, who's the legs, who can run. And you've got Tielemans, who's the pretty passer. And then you've got McGinn's the little dog who's like in there, just that. We need to get a midfield with a bit more balance. I'm not saying we can go and get a midfield like that straight away. It would be over probably 2 or 3 transfer windows. But there needs to be a big athletic guy in there, and then there needs to be one who can carry the ball, pick the ball up and take it 20, 30 yards to take the pressure off us and link that play between the strikers is something we really, really lack. And then with a striker, I don't think Fulkrug's the guy. Danny Ings, obviously, he's not the guy, sadly. I think he's been harshly treated. But yeah, we desperately need to go and get someone who can just, be a bit more athletic, be a bit more in the press up front. Ever Ferguson didn't do too much when he come on. It was interesting to look at him because as soon as he come on, especially when he just missed that header, I thought this is typical West Ham, typical banker. That we're going to lose this game. But yeah, listen, I'm not against that. I've gone off right on a tangent, but that's like I say, there's a lot of holes still in West Ham. There is. It's a great point. It is a really, really good point. I think, it's just two teams that are out of form. We're not great at all at the minute. But it's going to just be one of those seasons, I think. And I think that's what it is, guys. I think it's going to be one of those seasons where we're not going to get relegated. We're halfway there anyway now. We're on, what was it? I think it's 20 points now, isn't it? So we only need another 20 points. I think we're good enough to get 20 points. And I don't think 40 points will be what keeps you up anywhere this year. It's probably going to be more like 34, 35 this year. But it's just going to be one of those seasons that, willows out. We won't have nothing to play for by March. We won't be floating around in European places. We won't be in a relegation battle. And that's the sad thing about it. I think this team has got so much talent in it. But it's just, Lopetegui's just not quite getting the best out of it. He will get enough results, like I say, to keep us up to, probably finish 12th, that sort of area, 14th maybe. But as I say, if he did manage to get something, and in January is massive. You could easily get straight back up there, and 2 or 3 wins in a row. You've got a massive opportunity. The games we've just played, Bournemouth, Brighton. And then the game we've got on Boxing Day, Southampton, was a real opportunity to get about 7 points on the board. And now we've missed that. Again, I expect us to beat Southampton and push up. But then I think it's Liverpool, Man City, Villa in the Cup. And then Fulham, I think, who's a tough team to play this year. We could easily beat Southampton and then lose 4 games in a row if you include the cup game as well. And I think even after that, the games are not easy. They're not easy. And then what are they going to do? Like I say, Lopetegui for me is not the man going forward beyond this season. So what are they going to do? Are they going to keep him to the end of the season, which I think they will? Then who are you buying for in January? Is it the Steidham project for a new manager, for Allegri or whoever we have lined up for the summer? Or is it, they are going to buy for Lopetegui and then the new manager doesn't like what he's got and then you create this weird situation? It's a tough one. I'm just going to go in the comments, guys, because I've seen some of you gratefully commented along and I do appreciate that. Richie says, good morning. City Solaire says, let's let's equalise and then put 5 at the back. The manager's a genius, no doubt about it. The best thing about yesterday was Paquetá getting suspended for the next game. So we should see a lineup of Somerville left wing, Caduceus the 10, Fulkrog at the front, and Bowen on the right. Yeah, we could see that, and I'd like to see that. I hate when Jimmy gets dropped. He's sparky, you know. When Somerville's on, yes, he sometimes just maybe slightly overplays, but I just like him as a player. He just excites me. He's fast, he's quick, and he's getting better in terms of his, upper body strength. And then, like you said, gives the opportunity for Caduce to go in his position at number 10. Bowen has to be on the right. He's so good now at that cutting inside and, getting that shot away. And Fulkrug's Fulkrug, Obviously, Mavropanos is suspended for this game as well, the Southampton game, and that'll be Tobido back in. It's like I say, it's just weird. It's just weird. Like I don't know. It's like I'm not excited. I'm not fully disappointed. It's a really weird feeling at West Ham at the minute. Very, very weird. Richie says when Somerville gets the ball and starts running, it gets you. And you say, yes, and it's back to that thing, mate, of someone who can take the ball 20, 30 yards up the pitch and take the pressure off. That's what we need in centre midfield, mate. We need a centre midfielder that can carry the ball. Who that is, I don't know. When people go, well, yeah, but who? I don't know. I'm not some, European football scouting expert who can, say who that is. But we're desperate for someone like that. Desperate for someone who can hold the ball and take the pressure off the centre backs and and link the play. Keep your comments coming along, guys. I'm just going to go slightly off on a tangent. Obviously, last night the boxing as well. It wasn't a great fight. It was a entertaining fight from two fighters that were at the top of their game. I'm a big Usyk fan. I like Fury, but I'm a big Usyk fan as well. I'm glad Usyk won. I think he did win. I don't think I had it as wide as the judges had it. I had him winning by about 2, maybe 3 rounds. I think it was a little bit harsh to give him, sort of an 8-4. I think it was, like I say, more like sort of 3-4 rounds potentially that he won. More than Usyk, more than Fury. Usyk goes down now as one of the best fighters ever, in my opinion. Maybe one more fight with Dubai and then he can retire. But yeah, top guy, top fighter, absolute warrior of a man. With Fury, for me, I think fight AJ in a retirement match. Both of them, make 50 mil each or whatever, and then go out in the sunset and retire. But the one thing I will say about boxing at the minute is it's great. As much as I'd like to see these fights in the UK for the UK fans, etc. You have to give it that the Turk guy. He's getting them in the ring. He's getting these best fights happening. These fights were not happening a few years ago. If that guy was around 10, 12 years ago, you would have had Mayweather Pacquiao at the time it should have been made, rather than when it was made and it wasn't as good. One more thing, another sport before I go back to West Ham. Luke Littler, I don't know whether you guys are darts fans. Unbelievable. That last set, Luke Littler, unbelievable. 11 dart leg, 10 dart leg, 11 dart leg. 140 average in the last set. Unbelievable how good he was in that set. Let's go back to West Ham. Brian P says, I think Lobby changes things too much in games and players and systems. Yeah, like I said, as someone said earlier, we equalised and then we went to this 5 at the back system and then there was no midfield. It was really weird. And then I think we was hanging on, to be honest with you. 93rd minute they went close, 95th minute they went close. I think we was hanging on a little bit in the end, mate. That's the problem with Loppy makes... I can't say the comment because stupid arrow. He makes subs to correct his mistakes. Yeah, and he tries to make it look like he's a genius. He's made this sub and it's brilliant. And then forgetting that maybe he didn't get it right in the first place. So it's Southampton next. I will do a preview, but we can talk a little bit about that. It's a game we need to win. You know, they're terrible. Obviously, they've got a new manager. There's a couple of names linked. Obviously, David Moyes is linked. I think his name's Jurich. I think the name is Jurich. So they will have the new manager. I don't. If we lose this game, then it just shows how bad we are, really. And obviously after that, Liverpool and Man City. Good time to play Man City, but then you just know that West Ham's in town. Man City win. Man City will find their form against West Ham again. Yeah, it's a weird season. Weird season. I don't expect us to do anything in the FA Cup. Obviously, it is Aston Villa, are a fantastic team that don't help. But yeah, I just don't. I think it's just going to be a Merse season. One of them like nothing seasons, which is sad to say this early in the season. Hi Luke, did you think he settled for the point? Yeah, 100%. I think he just thought, let's go 5 at the back, see what happens. Because, like I say, he took the midfield off that couldn't link play to the strikers. Like, there was just 3 players up there, some of them Kudus and Bowen. There's no one there. The ball was just getting pinged. Bowen ain't going to win the header. Kudus ain't going to win the header. Jimmy ain't going to win the header. And then it's just going like that. It's just coming back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And just, nah. Yeah, I think you're right, mate. Loppy went full Mourinho with 5 at the back. Should have been a red for the foul on Kilman. Foot was right. Oh, yeah, I forget to mention that. Yeah, I thought that was a red. He, the studs were in like that, weren't it? On his ankle. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I think he should have potentially walked for that 100%. Yeah, anything else, guys? I'm going to give you a couple more minutes to leave some comments. I know it's really early, but it's the only time I've got to do things. You know what it's like, guys. Christmas is Christmas. I've got to go and fight in Costco's car park in about 10 minutes over Thurrock. That's going to be fun. Always fun going Costco, isn't it? Bloody hell. You try and get a car parking space on a Sunday morning when your missus is trying to say, pick that up. Then you've got to have a fight in there with your trolley. And then you've got to queue up for 3 hours to get your cronuts, your muffins and your croissants. What are we saying here? Was getting Big Sam vibes yesterday. Shut up shop with 15 to go. Respect the point. Yeah, I agree with you there, mate. Obviously, I had a season ticket with Allardyce. And I always used to say, at half time, I used to sit there and go, goodness me, I'm falling asleep there. I'm going home in a minute. Like, it's just always, just... There's nothing exciting about West Ham. We're not good. We're not really bad. But we're just like, meh. We're just meh. The best West Ham can play at the minute under this system is what we've seen already. I don't think Lopetegui has got anything more that can make it even more better. I don't think there's nothing that I look at and think, if he gets that one and that one, or he gets a player there and there, it will work. I don't see how it works. And that's I don't expect Lopetegui to be in the summer. I think he will stay the season, unless, again, we could lose Southampton. We're definitely going to lose to Liverpool. We're definitely going to lose to City. And then go at the FA Cup. Who knows? Who knows what happens? But I think Sullivan will gamble that we'll have enough to stay up, and he'll just ride it. He'll just ride it out and write the season off. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Rhonda says, why not give Irvine or Orford minutes at the end? No, he brings on the slowest player in the league. Yeah, I agree, mate. Well, they weren't on the bench, sadly. Irvine was, weren't he? But yeah, with Orford, just something exciting. I think George Murphy, I genuinely believe it was a mistake letting George Murphy go out on loan. He, towards the end of that David Moyes era, he had scored his first goal. He was looking busy. He reminded me of Lanzini a lot. That very, slight player, little trick, knows where the goal is. I think he would have been a really good option to bring on. He's a West Ham fan. He brings legs. I really hope that George Murphy comes back and he's a big, big player for us next year, because I think that was a slight mistake. I really do. I think. And as you say, there's nothing better, like in that Bournemouth game, when the 2 boys did come on, just give you a little bit of hope, doesn't it? It's like, yeah, there is something there. And there's passion and belief. You know, a lot of the academy boys, not all of them, are West Ham fans. You know, that they've got that desire. They know what it means to us. Would you stick Fulkrug up front for Southampton? There's no one else, is there? Unless you're going to go Danny Ings up front. There ain't really anyone else, mate, at the minute. Guilherme, the forgotten man, yeah, 100%, mate. You know, what is this young boy got to do to get some minutes? You know, he can't do any worse than what's out there. Won't be against him plan, to be honest with you, either. You know, give him some, or at least give him, you know, good half hour in a game. We'll see. We'll see. What we got here? Aaron Wan-Bissaka, another man of the match performance yesterday. Yeah, he's unreal, mate. He's just unreal. The way he tackles, his energy levels, you know, he don't give up. You know, this is a guy that, you know, could have come from Manchester United, act like he's doing West Ham a favour by stepping down to West Ham, but no, 100%. He knows, he loves playing football, will to win, desire to, you know, do the hard graft, tackling, defending, etc. Top professional. Love him. One of the best right backs we've had at West Ham. It's just a shame the rest of the defence, you know, is making him not look as good as he is, you know. Bowen up front, Kudus on the right, and they can swap during game. Yeah, it's an option. It's an option. But again, some people saying where Paquetá's obviously suspended, wouldn't be a bad idea to potentially give Kudus his chance in the number 10 and see what he can do. Like, there you go, mate. Put yourself in a shop window. You want to leave anyway. You know, go and have a game. Should we keep Kudus and play him as a 10? As Paquetá will go at the end of the season. Paquetá has offered nothing this year. Yeah, I think both will go, mate. To be honest with you, I think there's going to be a big clear out in the summer, maybe even in January as well. A positive, Luke. We are picking up points playing poorly. Yes, yeah, that is a good point. That's a good point. You know, the key to a good team is, you know, still getting points when you're not playing well, and then at some point you hope that you start playing good and picking up points. Good to go. Kudus go on a good run of performances now. Yep, he could do, mate. Like I say, he might be putting himself shop window performances now. You know, I don't understand the Arsenal link, I'll be honest with you. You know, it's Saka's position. You know, his best position is Saka's position. He's not going to get there. And then the number 10 position for them is Odegaard. He's not going to get in front of Odegaard. You know, is he going to go and be happy and play left wing for Arsenal? I don't know. I genuinely think the best club for Kudus, if he was to go, is Liverpool. I really do. I work with a lot of Liverpool fans. They say they see him as like the Mane sort of figure. You know, same sort of aggression, same sort of technical ability. I think Liverpool is the best option for him. I really do. Feel like J-Lo has been told to play the kids as he's not getting any new players in January. Maybe. We've got to buy a striker, though. We have to buy a striker. Antonio, you know, he's out for God knows how long. Fulkrug doesn't particularly want to be there. Danny Ings is not the answer. We have to buy a striker. Have to buy a striker in January. Whether it's a loan or whatever, a striker has to come through that door. Brian P says, I can see Rashford going to Arsenal. Yeah, I can see it. Definitely could see it. Or PSG, I think I could see him going PSG, to be honest with you, as well. But would you have Rashford? I don't think I would. I really don't. It gives me the impression that he would come and you'd probably get a really good Rashford for, you know, a few months. And then I get the impression he would start turning sulky. You know, I don't want to play striker. I don't want to play there. I don't want to run back. And we've got enough of that at West Ham in a minute. You know, it's quite a toxic atmosphere there by all accounts anyway. That Ferguson didn't look too bad yesterday, but I like Ferguson. Didn't get much chance yesterday. He was only on for, 10 minutes. But I do like him. He's got that Dean Ashton build. He's a big guy. He's still really young as well. He's more physical. He's more mobile than what we've got. You know, could be moulded into a really, really good forward. It's like Duran, though, you know, with the Duran one. Sorry to keep going back to Duran. With the Duran one, you know, Paul made a good point. Paul, the other guy from the channel, you know, he could have come to West Ham and he probably wouldn't have looked anywhere near as good because we wouldn't have played to his strengths. You know, Skamaka was a good striker. Hollah was a good striker, but we never played to these guys' strengths. And that's what needs to happen. You know, if you're going to go and buy this marquee striker, you've got to buy the players to go around him, or, you know, get a system to get the best out of the man up front. A striker is only as good as his service. Look at Haaland at the minute. Haaland can't score at the minute because KDB's not there to put them balls on a plate for him. I wouldn't take Rashford. Big question marks over his attitude, as you say. Somerville, Kudus, Bowen and Ferguson doesn't look too bad for me as a lineup. Yeah, mate, I'll be happy with that. You know, if Ferguson does walk through the door in a few weeks' time, I think it's a great signing. Great signing. Right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much if you have joined me live. If you're watching this back, thank you again. Me and Paul might do a podcast tomorrow. We did say we wanted to do one for Christmas. And then obviously I'll do a video for the build up to Southampton. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Keep hitting the subscribe button. You know, it keeps, you know, it fluctuates up and down. We're a small channel. You know, I'm happy with where we are. You know, it's a good channel. I do it for a laugh and I like talking to you guys. Have a great Christmas. Yeah, and enjoy the football and all the sport over the next few weeks. Come on, you words. Keep believing. Let's go.